All right. Good morning, everyone. Well, I'm Naveen, and want to really thank the entire crowd who watched my last video, which I talked about systematic giving plan. And thank you so much for all the comments and the likes that you had. Like you said, I think it's a very unique plan. I would really suggest to start off and feel free to reach out to me if you need, hey, how do I start, who do I reach out to, what kind of organizations am I connected, and so on. So happy to share anything that I can do it for the community. Now I'm here today to talk about how should be the portfolio allocation for all of us, right? And it could definitely vary depending on where you're in your journey. Are you in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and so on? And what I'm going to start talk about today would probably fit most of us, and it might need a tweak or a rebalance depending on where you are, right? So I would start with probably equity allocation, little heavy or high, I would say, anywhere between 35 to 40% of the portfolio. And within equity, a lot of us can look at, let's say, 60-40 or 30-70, whatever you're comfortable with in terms of stocks and mutual funds, right? I would definitely recommend both because one, mutual funds need to be more towards aligned to goals, and stocks definitely need to be aligned more in terms of risk coverage, right? And a dividend yield and so on, right? So look at 35 to 40 percentage, which could definitely be a good allocation in your portfolio. Moving on to real estate, certainly around 25 percentage. It has its plus and minus. It can give you a fixed rental and so on. At the same time, there are barriers to it as well. So let's keep that in mind, right? It's not easy to manage or liquidate, a real estate, right? And then moving towards the most sort of in the news in the recent, at least in the last 6 months, about gold and silver, right? While usually or historically they would have given us like 10 to 11 percentage, probably in the last 6 months they've given a real runway, right? So allocating between 15 to 20% of the portfolio would definitely help, and it's a great move. And debt, which is like immediate cash, it could be a ppfs, pfs, and fds, certainly should move towards 15 to 20 percentage, and that we call it as like an emergency cash and so on, right? Which can take care of any of the emergency needs. The last thing which I definitely want to talk about is crypto, right? Is it good or bad? Look, I think it's all about the risk appetite that one can take or one can have. And I haven't started it, and I'm planning to definitely, start it. I've sort of looked at certain data and what to buy and when to buy. They have really given a lot of run up in the recent past, just like gold. So currently, for example, my recommendation or my analysis says we should not exceed beyond 2 to 3 percentage, or maybe you can go close to 5% of portfolio depending on your risk appetite, right? So Bitcoin currently trading around 114. I personally feel it could move towards 125 to 140 in the next couple of months, and there could be a smile. There could be a slight correction too, right? So that would be my recommendation. So keep it as equity at 40 and real estate 20, debts around 15, gold should be around 20 percentage. Bitcoin definitely should be part of our portfolio given the outlook that it has in the long term, right? So I think that's here to stay. Let's remember that it's not going to go up. I know there are a lot of obligations, regulations are not there in India, taxing and other stuff, but I think it's important to start building one highly risk asset in the portfolio, which is a very small percentage of your portfolio too, right? So on that note, thank you. I hope this helped you, and feel free to contact me if you need some help. Thank you.